So welcome to the Red Couch, and today I have an extremely busy lady as my guest. I won't go into how many phone calls and attempts we had at trying to put this together, so I'm delighted that so early in your career as CEO of Digicel Barbados that you could find time for Capital Media. So welcome, Natalie Abrahams. And no, we don't have an elevator. You do have to use this spiral staircase with those 6-inch heels that you're wearing, you know?
That was the first feat of the day.
Yes, right. Well, listen, I mean, congratulations in all seriousness. You are the first female CEO of Digicel Barbados. It has been until now, the 20-odd years, a very male-dominated spectrum. So how has that been for you coming in? What has been the reception like? And obviously there are high expectations too as well on all sides.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. You know what's been good, I think, is that I have been with Digicel in the past. So there are lots of familiar faces. They have been extremely warm and welcoming. The sentiment is very much, wow, one of our own is here. So that's been really positive and really encouraging as well. And you're almost coming back home in a way. And so there's support also even from those who I haven't worked with before, who understand what this can represent for Barbados.
So how many years did you spend with Digicel the first time around?
Just 2.
2 years, all right. And that was with Mark Linehan's?
No, that was with Connor Louis and that team.
Yes.
And I spent, even though I started out spending a lot of my time in Barbados, which was the intention, I ended up spending the majority of my Digicel time in St. Lucia and in Jamaica.
In a company like yours, fiercely competitive, it must be a very demanding kind of job. What are your hopes in terms of what you hope to achieve in your tenure at Digicel?
Gone are the days where we are simply a mobile phone company. So there are many aspects to that business in one of the most rapidly evolving industries in the world, right? And we certainly don't benchmark ourselves locally or regionally. We benchmark ourselves internationally. So whatever's happening, we want to be a part of that. We want to be really measuring ourselves against what's the next best standard that's coming out. That alone is quite a dynamic space to be. I have an expression, what's keeping you awake at night? And those are the things that you start to think about. Yeah. But of course, in this role, it's more than what is our product, what is our service, You have the back office teams that need your support and leadership as well in order to deliver the finished product that everyone sees or uses and enjoys. So there are lots of components to it, and you're constantly switching gears throughout the day depending on what the issue is or what the focus is at the point in time. So definitely very dynamic business, very dynamic industry, and it really does call for very dynamic thinking.
You've always been aligned with the arts and with sports and with entertainment. You mentioned the Reggae Festival, and of course, how could I forget the Reggae Festival? So is that still? I mean, right now entertainment is at 0, but I mean, is that still within the remit and the vision of the company when things settle down, if they ever do?
Yeah, the unofficial mantra in the business would be where the people are. So if these are the events that people enjoy, that they affiliate themselves with, that they affiliate their nationalism with, that's where we want to be. We want to play in the spaces that people are and be affiliated with those spaces as well. Now, even though activity and entertainment is at an all-time low out of necessity because of the pandemic, certainly a lot of the products that we're delivering right now are focused on bringing in entertainment in a different way wherever you are. So we have applications now that persons can download and use and be part of virtual concerts, engaging with artists, that kind of thing, watch sporting events on our Sports Max app. So there are plenty of opportunities for people to still engage with what they love through Digicel, and we pride ourselves on that. I think, again, one of the biggest lessons we've learned through COVID is that planning has its limitations, right? Because the best laid plans, something can pop up, and either you have to be ready, which can be difficult with something so completely unknown, or you have to be agile enough to adapt to what has happened. So from the personal perspective, we have a mutual friend, and she and I were chatting the other day, and she said to me, look, we've gotten to the point now where you just gotta live your life. This is not going to stop anytime soon, so you have to decide, I am going to be safe, protect myself, those I love, and get on with it. Otherwise, what do? You hide under the bed? And even though that conversation was a a flippant one in a moment. I thought about that for a long time after, and she's right. There's a point where you cannot let this dictate how you live your life any longer. Once you're doing the right things, being safe as possible, following the science, you're trying to be prudent, but you've got to move on with your life, right?
In the workplace, and you have a fairly, it's not a small team. You have a lot of people. So doesn't that also play into the whole aspect of people's personalities, their behavior, how they feel about themselves and so on?
Absolutely. So I had written on this very recently. The employer has a very important role to play in managing or helping employees manage their mindset and their mental well-being at a time like this. It's very easy to say, I have my own things to worry about. I have a business that's either trying to thrive or failing. I too personally am having, wellness challenges and so on. It's very easy to get stuck in that space. But you also have responsibility for a group of persons who are trying their best to deliver under very unusual circumstances as well. There is a lot of room right now to give people room to cope the best they can.
So let's shift away from work a little bit and talk about Natalie Abrahams, the person.
This is the dangerous part.
No, not at all. So what are the things that make you tick?
I certainly am very, very focused on results. I believe in delivering excellence in my personal and my professional life, and I'll go all out to do it. On the personal side, I am absolutely obsessed with anything musical. Love it. Back before the pandemic, I would travel often for concerts and live shows and music. I'm obsessed with music. I enjoy reading and I enjoy eating other people's cooking. And that's a very important distinction. Because if I try to cook for you, Vic, I do not like you at all.
Well, I know you have a great cook in your household.
Indeed, I do. Circumstances don't allow that cook to function in the way that I'm accustomed.
I would imagine, and I'm speaking of Minister Wilfred Abrahams, and I know from personal experience that he is a masterful chef, and so having somebody like him. But I guess with his other duties, that minimizes those opportunities for him to relish in the kitchen.
Indeed, and let me say this here in the hope it inspires some new activity. I wonder if the skill has even been lost, given how infrequently they get to practice it. I'll just leave that here for now.
So congratulations on your appointment. We look forward to having more of these conversations with you in the future. There's some subjects we haven't touched on today, but we didn't want to be in any way controversial. This is more about you, the person, giving a little bit more of an insight into you. And we thank you for taking the time out. I know this is quite an effort on your part, so thank you for taking the time.
Really happy to have been able to make it, so thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. Thank you.